Allow me to take this opportunity to welcome you to our usual online lesson. Remember, we are looking at depositional features of the glaciated lowland. We began by looking at an esker. And now this morning, boys want us to look at another depositional feature known as came. What is a came? Boys, a came is an isolated conical shaped hill which is made up of sand and gravel which have been deposited in strata or in layers by the glacial water at the margin of a valley glacier. How are cames formed, boys? Cames are formed as water washes moraine into a large glacial cracks. As the ice melts away, the moraines are deposited onto valley floor, forming a large like mounds, which are known as cames. Remember, mounds are also small hills. Another important feature in the glaciated lowland is known as outwash plain. What is an outwash plain? This is a wide, gently sloping landscape of glacial deposits, mainly made up of sands and gravel. It is formed when large ice sheets stagnate on the gently sloping landscape, and as it stagnates, it starts to melt along the edges, especially during summer. As the ice melts, it carries moraine area. The land materials like gravel and boulders are deposited first near the margin of the glacier. The fine materials such as clay and sand are deposited further downslope. Pre-existing valley are buried by these fluvial glacial materials. The clay, silt, and gravel deposits then form wide area of undulating plain known as outwash plain. Let's look at feature number 4, which is known as till or boulder clay. Till A or boulder clay. Boys, here, materials forming a till plain is deposited directly by melting ice, unlike in outwash plain where materials are deposited by meltwater from ice. The materials in a till plain are unsorted, which means large particles such as gravel and boulders, together with smaller particles such as silt, are deposited at the same time. As the ice moves, it may melt, deposit some of the heavy materials as lodgement till or ablation till. Once the ice melts, a mixture of clay, sand, and rocks are deposited. This results in the formation of an extensive, covered by unsorted heterogeneous mixture of materials called till plain. Feature number 5, kettle lakes. Boys' kettle lakes are formed when the till plain is made up of irregular landscape with small hills and depressions which may be filled with water to form kettle lakes. Kettle lakes may also form where ice plucks out rocks from the till plain, leading to formation of hollows. When these hollows are filled with meltwater, then they form a lake, which is known as Kettle Lake. Can we look at moraine dammed lake, which is a very important depositional feature in the glaciated lowland? A mass of ice approaches a low-lying area. The ice starts to melt at the edges. This leads to deposition of terminal moraine across the glacial valley, resulting into the formation of transverse ridge. More deposition of terminal moraine raises the transverse ridge higher to block the valley. As the ice melts, the meltwater accumulates behind the transverse ridge, leading to formation of a lake known as moraine dammed lake. Another important feature, boys, that you need to understand is drumlin. Boys, a drumlin is an elongated, egg-shaped streamline hill which exists parallel to the direction of the moving glacier. They mainly occur in groups. As the mass of ice moves in lowlands, in thin out as a result of melting, it stops moving in very flat areas and melt, hence deposit boulder clay beneath the ice. Ice abrasion and plucking reshapes the boulder clay into rounded egg-shaped hill called drumlins. Yes. Boys, another depositional feature is known as an erratic. What is an erratic? An erratic is a rock outcrop which has been deposited. It's a rock which has been in the country rock, which is totally different from the rock. And or a large rock over a longer distance as it moves, then deposits it on top of a country rock, which is totally different from deposited rock. An erratic is used to trace the origin of the glacier by looking at the rocks outstream, which to look at economic significance of glaciated features in the lowland areas. What are the significance of glaciated features in the lowland areas? Number one, glaciated features such as Rochimoutoni form unique scenery which attract tourists, thereby earning foreign exchange. Number two, outwash plain have soil required nutrients, aeration, and water suitable for agriculture. Number three, glacial erosion in the lowland exposes minerals which become easy to mine or exploit. Number four, moraine dam lakes offer suitable site for fishing and provide water for domestic and industrial use. The next significance, outwash plains and eskers are excavated to obtain building materials. Boulder clay deposits can interfere with drainage, creating a marshy landscape unsuitable for agriculture. Glacial deposition results in rugged landscape, making it difficult to settle or construct transport line. What are the significance of glaciation to human activities? Glacial deposits could be fertile soil, which can be used for farming. Glacial lakes provide water that is used for domestic and industrial purposes, e.g., the Great Lakes of Canada and USA. Hanging Valley are sites for waterfalls, which can be used for generation of hydroelectric power. Glaciated features such as Pyramidal Peak form unique sceneries which attract tourists, earning the country foreign exchange. Glaciated highlands covered by snow form good sites for winter sports such as ice skating and ice skiing. Glacial erosion may expose valuable minerals which become easy to mine. Glacial erosion leads to formation of highly indented coastline with fjords, which form excellent sheltered fishing grounds. Deposition features such as eskers, erratics, and outwash plains provide stones for building and construction industry. During summer, ice melts away and the regions form good areas for the growth of pasture, especially eskers. As we finish, boys, it is important that we know negative effects of glaciation on physical environment. Number one, glacial depositions and erosion leads to formation of irregular landscape, which hinder construction of transport lines such as roads and railway lines. Number two, glacial erosion and deposition in the lowland leads to formation of marshy and bog landscape, which interferes with the drainage of the region. And number three, glacial deposits lead to formation of numerous lakes and other features on the land surface. This reduces the amount of land available for human activities such as agriculture. Boys, this brings us to the end of the lesson in glaciation. When we meet tomorrow, we shall be beginning a new topic known as action of wind and water in arid areas. May all of you have a good evening.